I'll now invite the Rose Corporation to begin. Just a reminder to state your name before.
Chairman Stott, members of the committee, my name is Sam Reisman. I'm CEO of the Rose Corporation. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share some of my experience, which I hope will inform the pending legislation. I have some small but specific recommendations, which I hope the Standing Committee will adopt as you consider changes to Bill 23. My comments are generally directed towards purpose-built residential development in and or near major urban centers, particularly those considered affordable. The Rose Corporation, and together with my team as CEO, we completed the first purpose-built rental building in Newmarket of any size, 225 units in generations. That was in 2017. The Rose Corporation is currently completing the development of approximately 600 units next door, 400 of which are purpose-built apartments. When the development is complete next year, we will have added 625 purpose-built rental apartments, 150 of which will meet local and federal affordability criteria. In Kitchener, we have 520 purpose-built apartment buildings either recently completed, under current construction, or in the permissions process. The homes in Kitchener do not have an affordable designation, but are by their nature modestly priced. In the very next hour after this meeting, I'm meeting with the City of Toronto, hopeful of getting into the ground with a 25-story, 260 purpose-built rental apartment development next year. The plan is to have 58 units meet the Toronto guidelines for an affordable dwelling. I use the words hope because, as you already know, the environment for rental development, which has always been challenging, is now in crisis. I use the word next year because I believe by pulling together, we can make rental happen. The city staff, I know, are working very hard and productively with us to figure it out. CMHC has declared itself a major player in the creation of new housing, committing $70 billion over 10 years. And as it's been reported, has already committed $13 billion, primarily for construction of 13,000 apartments across Canada. The Rose Corporation was one of the successful applicants. Without CMHC support, most of the units we built would have been condo, and condominiums are a poor substitute for purpose-built apartments. CMHC can't do it alone. When they need multi-level government cooperation and support to succeed. This is especially true now when interests have quintupled over the last 3 years and construction costs have exceeded inflation by an alarming rate. So here's two quick no-cost fixes. The federal government, through CMHC, is making an impactful contribution to affordable housing. Given this current circumstance, the province should establish a liaison office to coordinate with the various government initiatives and stimulate others. The mandate would be to implement a coordinated, flexible suite of incentives to address the unique nature of the community's needs. I can't overemphasize the value of you doing so. When local governments CMHC relies heavily on local governments to define its own standard of affordability. When the local community fails to do so, as is often the case, the criteria defaults to the province's provincial policy statement. It was written in a different generation, and it needs to be more simply defined. When local government do make the efforts to create cohesive, affordable policy, it's crafted with their own language and definitions. Often the regional government's definition is in conflict with the member municipalities. This state of affairs makes aligning policy and incentives unnecessarily complex. I suggest we can fix it and fix it now. Amend the provincial policy statement such that affordable rent is 30% of median income in the relevant census area. When local governments develop their own policy, insist that they use this language. The simple change to the provincial policy statement would have a real and immediate impact on capital flows and align your bill with its purpose, which is to build more houses sooner. I can go through some examples, but I'm going to wait for that in any questions you may have. My single most important recommendation is simply align policy and definitions so we can use all the same language when discussing affordable housing. The most fundamental and immediate change that should have the quickest impact on affordable housing was the bill's provision to permit auxiliary dwelling units as of right and existing in new residential settings. The cost of an ADU will vary, but the cost of providing, say, a 2-bedroom basement apartment will be closer to $100,000, and a new condominium in a comparable location close by to about $1 million. It's worth repeating: $100,000 versus $1 million. If the province wants to make an investment, make it here. Provide easy access to funds for individuals who convert their homes. You could actually give it away to those building high-quality ADUs and spend less than subsidizing some of the massive construction projects otherwise required. In all of the changes Bill 23 offers, I don't see any provincial funding to assist the desperately required affordable housing which they wish to create. And I'm concerned that constraining municipal resources, as you've asked them to, it'll prove too much of a challenge. I conclude by noting that new apartment development should be stimulated at any reasonable cost. It's an essential service. It's a very low risk proposition for governments to finance. The private sector can efficiently develop and deliver apartments, but only government can currently bear the low initial returns in this current environments. Our observation is that all purpose-built rental is good for the community and remains one of the least expensive form of conventional housing. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation.